My brother earned that new car. He actually comes around, Dad said, handing me the shock absorbers. I just nodded and replied. Great, then he can cover the bills this month. The next morning, I quietly removed my name from every utility account, and watched them panic. Hey, Reddit. Growing up, I was the one holding everything together. When money got tight, I covered the bills. When pipes burst, I fixed them. When groceries ran out, I bought them. I kept the household afloat without fanfare. My brother? He dropped in twice a year, at Thanksgiving if he remembered, and at Christmas to collect gifts and compliments, then vanished back into his own life. But my parents, especially my dad, never tired of telling me how valuable my brother was because he showed up for photo ops, while my steady work went unnoticed. Last week pushed me over the edge. I dragged myself home after an exhausting shift, my back screaming and my bank account nearly empty, when Dad called me out to the driveway. There sat a gleaming new car, an upgrade from my brother's usual clunker. Without a greeting, he handed me boxes of shocks for their old truck and casually explained that my brother deserved the new car simply because he visits, as if my years of invisible labor counted for nothing. I stared at him and, with a calm smile that hid my fury, said, "Perfect, then he can handle your bills this month." He looked startled, too late to stop what was coming, but didn't say a word as he headed back inside, expecting me to get started. That night, they lounged in front of the TV, no doubt bragging about the shiny new ride, while I sat at my computer. I tracked down every utility tied to my name: water, electricity, internet, gas, each one I unlinked from my bank account. When they hit hard times years ago, they swore it was temporary stretched into forever, because I made it easy, no more. Before dawn the next day, I called each company, removed my name, cancelled autopay, and requested disconnection notices. It felt like snipping 1,000 fine threads that had bound me to their expectations. I packed a single bag with my laptop and essentials, then walked out without drama, quietly, like a storm breaking over the ocean and moving on, leaving wreckage behind. By midday, their world collapsed. Missed calls, frantic texts from Mom. Why is the internet out? Did the water shut off? They begged for answers. Now, Dad's final text read, "You better fix this." I read it, smiled, and turned my phone to silent. Soon, they dragged my brother into the mess, expecting him to save the day. But he, always focused on optics, refused to shell out cash unless it was Instagram worthy. He ghosted them, promising maybe he'd help someday. They were speechless. The golden child had abandoned them when the shine wore off. Meanwhile, I sat in my friend's apartment, sipping coffee and breathing freely, feeling more liberated than I have in years. "No, really, Dad, what exactly did you think would happen?" Silence. He didn't answer right away, probably because he'd never considered that the well might run dry, that the person who always picked up the pieces might stop showing up, that I wasn't just an extension of their needs, but a whole person who had finally drawn a line. So I let that silence stretch. Let him sit in it. Let him hear what it sounded like when I didn't rush in to fix everything. Then, calmly, I said, "You made it clear who mattered. Now it's time to live with that choice." I hung up. Not out of spite, not out of vengeance, just out of self-respect. Because this wasn't about revenge, it was about liberation. And with every moment that passed, I felt lighter, like I was finally living in a version of my life that belonged to me. I started making a list of things I wanted to do, not for anyone else, but for myself. Go back to school. Travel somewhere warm. Redecorate my space. Sleep in without guilt. Say no without explaining. Because I wasn't just done carrying their burdens. I was done living their story. This was mine now. If you'd told me even a month ago that I'd walk away from my family and feel anything other than crushing guilt, I wouldn't have believed you. But here I am. Breathing easier. Living fuller. And not looking back. I asked him plainly, "Why do you think I owe you anything?" Silence. I could feel the pause stretch across the line, the gears grinding as he tried to justify years of expectation without sounding selfish. He mumbled something about family loyalty, about honoring your parents, about being grateful for the roof they'd provided. I let him finish. Then I replied, quietly, but firmly, "Gratitude doesn't mean servitude. Putting a roof over my head wasn't generosity, it was your job, and honoring family doesn't mean destroying yourself for people who only see you as an emergency fund." Before he could respond, I ended the call. And just like that, something shifted, irrevocably. They finally understood I wouldn't be their safety net anymore. No more midnight calls. No more patching up their messes. No more draining myself dry to carry the weight they never acknowledged. A few days later, my aunt messaged me. Apparently, my parents had reached out to a social service agency. She sounded bitter, like it was shameful for them to admit they needed real help. I didn't feel vindicated. I felt peace. They were finally dealing with life on their own terms. No illusions, no scapegoat, just consequences. As for my brother, the family favorite, he kept his distance. Holidays and photo ops were one thing. Late bills and no internet? Another story. Turns out, the golden child had been raised for applause, not responsibility. And when reality knocked, he didn't even answer the door. A strange part of me pitied him. He'd been given status without substance, a title without the skills to wear it. And my parents, so in love with their own myth, were now discovering the cost of raising a favorite while breaking the dependable one. Months passed. I moved into a small apartment. Nothing fancy, but it was mine. Every cushion, every dish, every light switch untouched by criticism or guilt. I filled it with secondhand treasures, music I liked, meals I cooked for no one's approval. And the quiet? The quiet was sacred. No more slamming doors. No more tight smiles at dinner. No more waking up wondering who I needed to rescue today. Then one afternoon, I bumped into a family friend at the store. She stared like I was a ghost and asked if the rumors were true, if I had left my parents to struggle alone. I looked her in the eyes and said, "No, I didn't abandon them. I just stopped abandoning myself." She didn't know what to say. She stammered and walked away. That's when I truly understood. People will always talk. But they weren't there. They didn't hear the sighs at midnight, feel the weight of the bank overdrafts, or cry in the car after another lecture about not doing enough. They didn't live it. So they don't get to define it. Leaving wasn't about punishing anyone. It was about reclaiming my own future. Because love without respect? That's not love. That's emotional debt collection. It took me too long to see it. But now that I had, I wasn't about to turn around. 6 months later, they sent one last message. Just 5 words. "We hope you are well." No threats. No guilt. Just quiet. And I didn't respond. Not because I was angry, but because I finally loved myself too much to open a door that led back to chaos. Some things, once healed, should never be reopened. That night, I sat on my little balcony with a cup of tea, watching the streetlights flicker below. And I realized something beautiful and sharp. I didn't lose a family. I uncovered myself. And that, more than anything they ever gave me, was the gift I was waiting for all along. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more great stories. Don't forget to tap the notification bell, so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts in the comments, we love hearing from you. See you next time, and take care.